Hi, hope you're well. I've got some clothing items to take a look at today. I've got a whole new wardrobe of outdoor clothing to wear from Beretta, and I thought I'd take you through some of the bits and pieces that we've got here. I've been really happy with these. I was a little bit nervous to start with because I have some problems with synthetic fibres. I haven't had great luck with them in the past. You know, I've worn them down the gym and stuff like that. I remember when all the synthetics became really popular and we got told that wicking was this great thing and that they were much better for, you know, hard work and they kind of wicked sweat away. All this stuff that I had heard. I tried a lot of them at the time. This was a few years ago from various different manufacturers. I think Under Armour was one of them that I remember trying, and I didn't have much luck. You know, they irritated my skin, they felt kind of uncomfortable, and to be honest, they actually made me like more sweaty and more smelly when I went to the gym than I was if I'd have worn cotton. So for me, they just didn't work. So from then on, I just avoided them like the plague, and I generally wore cotton stuff where I could and natural fibre stuff. And that was up until more recently. So I needed some new gear for outdoor work. I was using it for, you know, range stuff I was doing at work. If I was doing any shooting and hunting around this area, then I was using it for that as well. The stuff I had was in need of replacement, so of course I opted for the Beretta gear because I know the guys there. I know that they're pretty diligent in their design of this stuff, and also I could give them some feedback on it, you know, so if anything was not performing as I thought it should be, at least I could go back to the guys that actually make the stuff and tell them, hey, I wore this, you know, it's supposed to wick sweat away, it's supposed to be active wear, etc., and I didn't find it was up to the job. I was very pleasantly surprised. So I'll go through these items one at a time and just take you through a quick overview, and you can make up your own mind. I've got some video of me out there. Yeah, I was setting a gun up. I was off to do some pest control stuff. So you can have a look at the video as well just to see what it looks like on and how it fits, etc. And I'll tell you the sizes. I'm at the moment around about a 32-inch waist, around about a 44-inch chest. I'm 5'9", so I'm not particularly tall. Sometimes I find, you know, that you can buy trousers and they kind of are a bit weird on the crotch or they're too long, etc., because I'm not really long in the leg. These actually fitted like a dream. I also like the fact that they fitted reasonably snugly, so they look good, but they gave me plenty enough movement to do anything I needed to do in terms of moving around, running about, etc. I really don't like the super baggy kind of GI 1970s look trousers. I think they look kind of slovenly and they're just rubbing all the time. You know, they get caught up on stuff. They're way too baggy. So as you can see, I'm wearing the jacket here. This is the Rupac Capra jacket. I'm not sure what Rupac Capra means, I'll be honest. It is basically a thermal layer that combines a bit of fleece material, which is kind of a little bit of a stretchy material itself, and then it's got this material which is also a flexible material, just designed to give you an extra layer of warmth. You see the Beretta logo over on there. You can obviously do it right up like so. It has a pocket either side on the breast, fairly large pockets. And then we have really large pockets on each side here. It's made so it's got plenty of give in it. And then these sleeves, I've got them rolled up at the moment, but you can actually undo those, and then it has a hook for the hand there, so just an added bit of warmth. If you've got gloves on, you can obviously run your gloves underneath that, and it just gives you an extra warm layer. Then you would put a bigger jacket over the top if it was a really cold day. Zips are good quality, as you can see, and it's also got this windproof lining behind the zip. a nice fit to the jacket, and then as you can see on the back, it's that fleece material which is aerated. If you look up close, you can actually kind of just see light through the fleece material, whereas the thicker grey shinier material you can't see any light through at all. So it gives a good bit of air. As I said before, that was something that I thought was going to cause me some problems. In fact, I found it just fine. Kept me nice and warm when I wore it on a coldish day. It's obviously not waterproof because, like I said, some of that material you can actually see light through. It's designed to let a bit of air in and out and allow your body to breathe, but it's certainly enough to keep you warm. If you need something waterproof, you would stick another bigger jacket over the top of that, or some kind of waterproof outer shell. Underneath there, I've got this Miller Polo. Really like these. Beretta logo on the chest. Again, it's some sort of high-tech performance fabric. I thought this was going to be the major problem because obviously it's right up to my skin. Normally that would cause me some sort of irritation. I've been wearing this on and off for the last few weeks. I've had absolutely no skin irritation at all, and I've got to say it performs better. I've put it on down the gym just to see how I got on with it. No problem at all. It retained odour far less than a cotton shirt would. You know, when I wore this down the gym, had a really hard workout, came back, it didn't even smell. I washed it anyway because I'm not going to just re-wear it the next day. But you literally could have worn it the next day and you wouldn't have noticed. It had no smell at all. Whereas if I wore a cotton top, you definitely would smell that the next day. You would put it straight in the wash bin. It has Velcro on one side, so if you want to put some sort of patch or insignia on there, you can. And then it has this button down pocket there as well, just in case you had any sort of emergency items you wanted to keep in there. Not something personally I would use. I don't really like putting stuff in those pockets because just in case you have to go down on your shoulder or something and you're in an awkward spot, I really don't want stuff digging into me at that point, but other people may choose to use that for something. It's got a good tight fit. It's nice and elasticated. I've got fairly large arms, so I don't really like shirts that have got very tight bands on them here. I like them to be tight fitted. I don't want them to be too baggy, but at the same time, sometimes these bits are almost no stretch at all, and they kind of take the circulation out of my arms. So this is ideal. You know, if you had thinner arms, it would shrink down a bit, but big arms, it's fine. You know, it stretches out. If I flex my arm, it actually stretches to fit, and it's not tight at all. Very nice fit indeed. And of course, button up. Now I did also get this here, which is kind of very similar to the Rupac Capra jacket. You can see it's all made of the material that's that breathable mesh material. It's got the Beretta logo on the back there. This is just a single zip, so I have a feeling this was probably designed with layers in mind. So now I've got the Miller underneath, I've got this single zip long sleeve over the top of that. Again, not too tight, but certainly a nice tight fit. It's not cutting the blood supply off or anything like that, but it's sticking nice and close to me. It's not a noisy fabric either, so if I'm moving around, if I'm doing a bit of hunting or something like that, it's not going to be making too much noise as I move. We have a zip on the breast pocket there again, and then it's actually elasticated around the bottom. If you were to have your polo underneath and then you put that over the top, that gives you a nice seal from the wind around there, and then you could run this Rupac Capra jacket over the top of that. So now I've got my 3 layers, which will keep me toasty warm and give me the ability to be able to take one off. If I start getting too hot, then I can take this outer jacket off, keep the long sleeve on, and on a really hot day, of course, I could take them both off. Now that's a really good fit, all 3 of those together. which is kind of why we bought into this system. So the Rupac Capra jacket, the sizing on this was an EU XL and a USA large. So if you're in the US, it would fall under large, EU XL. The next one down was this long sleeve, which I had underneath the Rupac Capra, which again I bought in an EU XL and a USA large. Last of all, I bought the low pro pants in flat dark earth. So you can see the video of me wearing them, but I've got a pair here as well. I actually bought 2 pairs. You can see really nice thick belt loops on there. I particularly like, it's got a pop stud and a hook and loop behind that. Zip fly. These are not super heavy duty, they're not going to be too hot, so I would say they're ideal kind of summer autumn wear. They're a hard wearing ripstop style fabric. You've got pocket either side, as you would expect, nice and deep, and you've got this section here sewn in which is a little bit thicker, which I'm guessing is for if you want to put a knife or a flashlight. Just reviewed this Streamlight, so if you were putting something like that on there, obviously it's just stopping the material from being damaged, giving you a thicker section. Waist wise, these have got a bit of give, as you can see. There's a little bit of stretch to this material, which is nice because then you can buy them in the right size. You're not completely kind of bound to get the size exactly correct. Slightly thicker loop on the back there. Then we have a couple of zip pockets on the legs. Again, very high quality zips. Inside the zip pocket is actually a little smaller pouch as well. And then what I really like about these is these features in the cuff and the bottom of the leg. So you've got this rubberized material here, which is quite tacky, and you might think, well, that would be annoying. Actually, no, it's the opposite. It prevents them from running up your leg. So it kind of sticks them down to the top of your boots or shoes, and they just don't go anywhere. And then if you really want to stop them running, you might wonder, well, why have they got a hook there? That will actually hook around your bootlace or shoelace, and it will completely prevent these from running up your leg. That might not seem like much to people that don't do much out in the countryside, or they're not wearing them tactically, etc. You do not want these things running up your leg and sort of bearing your legs to the elements and all kinds of horrible stuff. You want these to stay down and your legs to stay reasonably protected, and they certainly do the trick for that. They just stay put at the top of my boots, exactly where I want them. The other thing I liked about these, really good fit around the bum, really good fit on the crotch. They haven't got a ridiculously low crotch on them, which I find with a lot of tactical pants. The crotch hangs really low, so it's kind of supposed to be baggy and allow you some movement. What I actually find it does is kind of binds your legs up, because it hangs so low, it stops your legs from getting a full range of motion. So because these have a little bit of a stretch and fit your form factor so well, I find a little bit more mobility with these. Again, the material hasn't caused me any problems at all, hasn't caused me to get overly hot or sweaty. They seem to allow plenty of air movement, and this whole outfit as it is, I'm finding absolutely ideal. You know, either as base layers on the top with extra stuff on for winter, or just as a complete autumn outfit. If you're out hunting in the autumn and you're doing stuff outdoors, then this will be really good. If you're a tactical end user and you're looking for some layers, I would also recommend this. Definitely beneficial for those guys. If you're in law enforcement or something like that, and you can kind of choose some of your own kit to wear underneath your duty stuff, then definitely take a look at these shirts. They're really good. As with all things Beretta, none of these are super cheap. And I've taken a bit of flack in the comment sections before from stuff because I often pick out things that are considered expensive by some. They're by no means the most expensive stuff on the market. You know, I've worn all kinds of tactical and outdoor clothing. I've paid hundreds of pounds for various different items. If you look at some other brands, you can pay anything up to £1,000+ these days for a pair of trousers. And if we're getting into fashion wear, then you can pay even more than that, and the thing doesn't even have any function. 130 odd euro for a pair of trousers and 70-80 euro for a top, I don't think is particularly outrageous. Some people will beg to differ. That's fine. I would rather spend the money, have stuff that works well as a system, keeps me warm and comfortable, not covered in sweat and having a horrible time while I'm out. If, like me, you're looking to buy some stuff in this price range, I strongly recommend you take a look at the Beretta tactical line. I'll chuck a link up below to the Beretta store. I also would suggest you take a look at the Beretta hunting line. Hopefully I'm going to have some more reviews of some of their hunting products coming up. I really want to have a look at their footwear, because that's not something I've tried out before, and I'm always interested to see how footwear performs in terms of comfort, performance, etc. So hopefully I can bring you some information on that later on. Guys, I hope this has been of some use to you. It's certainly been an eye-opener for me, checking out these new synthetic materials and how far they've come since I last tried them. Take care, have a great week, catch you soon.